Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 36 of the Hunger for the Hustle podcast. My third guest for the day and the last one, but by no means the least. It is an absolute pleasure to have this man on. Talk about hunger for the hustle. This man really embodies it. And we're going to really dive into some of his goals, some of his aspirations, some of his big accomplishments. My guest, Demetrius Moyé, went from earning $9 per millionaire. We're going to dive deep into that and to all the things he's got going on. Live from Georgia, Demetrius, how are you, sir?
Good, Jake. How you doing, man?
Doing great, man. It's great to have you here. I know we've been speaking back and forth on this for a while, and we've been speaking in some of the groups we're in with the fabulous other people that we're connected with. I've been watching your moves, and as a fellow entrepreneur, I can say I'm inspired by you and learning stuff all the time.
I appreciate it. Likewise, Jake. I see what you're doing, man, and it's an amazing thing. The hunger for the hustle. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's interested in it, and I'm privileged to be here on your show, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for your time and your energy. Now, Demetrius, in fact, I'll tell you where we're going to start, because just off camera we talked about I've just gone into entrepreneurship from switching from working to someone to doing my own thing now. You told me about a time when you worked in a battery store and you got fired, and that was the moment then when you decided it's time to do my own thing and not work for someone else.
Yes, that was crazy. I was working at a battery store, and they had spiffs and give you more commissions by selling batteries. So I tried to sell every battery that they had, and my manager actually got jealous because I was selling so much product, and because of that, he fired me. He actually set me up to get fired, and that's when I said I'll never be fired again.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's good how those things happen, though, and they're blessings in disguise, and they inspire you and motivate you more than anything to just, a change is coming. Now is the time. I'm making that change. Now, I know today, and then from there, you went on to pouring concrete, odd jobs, cleaning business, but now you've got numerous businesses. I know you've got a medical transport business, ambulance business, and you're involved with construction, subdivision, multi-level marketing. So, tell us a little bit more about that journey. You went from the battery store there, and then what came next?
Well, okay, so when I went to the battery store, I wanted to figure out a business. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't want to work for anybody anymore. So I went to a friend of mine and I asked him. I was like, "Well, what do you think? What do you think is a good business?" And he says, "Well, I don't really have anything." I said, "Well, all I got is a mop." So he was like, "Well, why don't we start a cleaning business?" And that's when I started the cleaning business. And it actually did really good. The first 3-4 months, it was tough. I was going out trying to get jobs, seeing if I could get people. And then I realized, I said, I had to do something different. I had to show people what I was able to do. So a guy gave me a chance, and I said, "Can I clean your floor for free?" And that was the turnaround. I cleaned his floor, and he said, "Okay." He said, "I'm going to give you an account." And that account went from many accounts, PetSmart's accounts, Planet Fit's accounts. And we did really good. Back then, I think we were doing like $10,000 a month. And so it worked out. That's what was my really start to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, your core business. And isn't that funny? We're a student now of Bob Proctor, and he started out with a cleaning business as well and expanded that globally around the world. That's interesting, that is. And I think particularly cleaning businesses now are probably a business that's done really well out of the pandemic, because places are getting cleaned 10 times as much as they used to. And I've seen people cleaning. I mean, typically people do clean all times of night, right? But I see a lot more of it happening, and that's only going to be happening more into the future. So there's always businesses that do well, even out of crazy times like this that we've never dealt before. There's always people doing well and pivoting to deal with the difference in the supply and demand of things.
Correct. Absolutely. I agree with you. Definitely.
So that's the cleaning business, and the medical transport business as well. I'd love to hear more about that. That's a whole different business from cleaning, and certainly from what we'll go into in a bit. It's construction. It's pretty different.
Well, I tell you, that didn't come till later on, because I was in a car accident, and and this was one of the things that like really like changed everything. I was in a car accident and I had a traumatic brain injury. And so I was living in New York at the time, and it was so bad I couldn't remember hardly anything. The buildings, these massive buildings, I would look at them and they would be swaying in my, like, this is what I would see. They would be swaying. So it was and I knew it was in my head, but yeah, I knew it was in my head. Like I knew what I saw was in my head, but I was still seeing it, and that scared me more. So so I lost a lot of business, and that's when I wound up working. I had to take a seat back, and for a year and a half, take a job at Walgreens, making $9 an hour, and until my brain sped up, and I got back. A customer came in. This was like a year and a half later, and I was like, "Wait a minute, hold on, Lisa." And I started to remember the customers' names, and that was my superpower. So I was like, I'm back. Like I was like, hey, John, people would come in and I start selling again. And a friend of mine asked me to help him with his ambulance service. That's how I got in it.
Got it. How long did it take for you to recover from the brain injury? It
was, I want to say somewhere between a year and a half to two years.
Yeah.
And it was humbling. It was definitely humbling, because when you can't remember things, and it was so bad, Jake, I could have a conversation with you, right? Walk out the room, 5 minutes, come back and have the same conversation. And I could do that repeatedly all day long. That's how, I couldn't retain any type of information that I previously did. It was really bad.
That must have been pretty scary, bro, to not be able to remember anything at all.
It was very scary. It was humiliating too at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like it was humiliating, but I was just happy that when it came back, it didn't come back like like I wasn't. It came back all the way is what I want to say.
Okay. Yeah.
I went night and day. Like I went from wow, like I'm remembering everything again, and it just like that, it just took off. Of a friend of mine, he was like, "Hey, I need help with my ambulance service with sales and marketing. Can you help me?" And I went in, learned the business, went to school, and that was a wrap. I want to say maybe about 4 or 5 months after I helped him, I started my own.
Yeah, and from there it grew, and today, I know you have you're involved in subdivisions. Maybe though you could explain to the audience, and to me, I'll be honest, what does subdivisions involve? I understand well, no, I'll let you explain it.
It is a lot. It's a lot. So obviously I couldn't go in the route of subdivisions where I was like, okay, we're going to build a bunch of houses and then people are going to buy it. Instead, we took the route of, let's get in touch with the architects, civil engineers. Let's get in touch with the developers. Let's get a plan out there. And then what we did is got the architectural plans, got them to the real estate companies, and then they're literally selling virtual houses. And so the person can pick out their lot, and we build that. Then we have the general contractor build their virtual house and make it reality. And that's how we've been doing it. So we bought a plot of land. That's what we did. And I said, I got to do something with this. We bought 37 acres. So it was like, okay, what are we going to do? How can we get this high return? So now everything is working out. And, really, honestly, I'm thankful for thinking of results with John, the law of attraction. We put something out there in the atmosphere and we kept working towards it. And it's gotten to everything is going exactly as planned.
And that's a very smart way to do business, and very, very smart way to sell property. And if it wasn't for technology, I mean, that wouldn't have been something that was possible 10, 15 years ago, perhaps even, I don't know, 5 years ago. I don't know how long they've been doing that with the virtual house thing. I have seen it, but yeah, it's a real smart way to do business, and a smart way to buy a house actually as well, because you can design it absolutely to what you want, you know, right down to the finish of the roof, the windows, the floor, everything and anything you want. So I like that. That's a smart idea.
And then there's solar panel houses too, so they're definitely eco-friendly. So people are loving it. So it's turning out to be something really nice.
Yeah, that's good, man. And you found something to do with the land, which is always a plus.
Yeah, sure.
How long did you have? I got to ask, how long did you have the land before you figured out what to do with it?
Now that's interesting. I got the land, I want to say, and probably about, I want to say 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks. I got the land, and what it was, how I thought about it is, I was riding around the neighborhood and I kept seeing these new constructions.
Right.
And that's when I was like, wait a minute, hold on, new constructions. And then I thought about it. Somebody's paying these people to build these houses. Then I thought about it. Wait a minute. People are getting construction loans to have their houses built. I don't have to put out a bunch of money. All I got to do is sell the plan and get in touch with a general contractor and let the general contractor get paid by the construction loan. So, it just hit me. And the next thing you know, I was telling my wife, I'm just writing on the board. I'm looking crazy. I was writing on the board and I was looking crazy to her because I'm like, this is how it's got to be. Step one, and I'm just going crazy on it. And she's looking at me like I've lost my mind. But it's working. Yeah. And then she came right with it and we're doing it. It's great.
It's happening, Ryan. You resonate. I can resonate a lot with you there. You sound a lot like me. You know, when I've got the idea, then I've got to get it out. It's got to be written for me. It's all coming out quick, so you better keep up, otherwise you're going to miss it.
You have to get it right away. If you don't get it out right away, then it's gone.
Yeah. That's often the way as well. Yeah. I'm always making like voice notes, mental notes, scribbling in a little book I got with me. So lock those ideas in. You got to get them while they're hot and act on them, in fact, while they're hot as well. You know, I once heard something that said the best time to act on an idea is when the idea is hot, you know, because the energy's high around it then, and then you keep the momentum going with it. So you're certainly doing that. That's for sure, Demetrius. You're someone who acts on his ideas pretty quickly.
I have to. I have to. I got that gold card that I got written down. And I want to make sure that goal is definitely met, you know. So if I can't do it if I'm slowing down, you know. I gotta move with the movement, you know.
Keep it flowing and growing, as I like to say. And I believe I've got the goal in front of me, if this is the same one that's on your gold card, and that's to be a billionaire by August 14th, 2022. Is that the one that's on the gold card?
It's correct. That is the correct. That is correct. Right.
Good.
That's why we're doing so many different. We're doing so many projects, but I'm trying. No, I gotta stop saying that. I'm doing smart projects. You saw I caught myself, right? I'm doing.
Yeah, I caught you.
No, I'm not. I'm doing it. Smart projects. Yeah, doing smart projects. MLMs, multiple different businesses under the same MLMs, so that the way something is structured, you see a lot of MLMs, and they're, you might have one product, you know, or one type of business, and they're selling that one product. And then some people love it, some people don't. But in this, what we're doing is we're doing multiple different products under the same MLM, which gives a lot more diversity, and it allows people to gain a lot more money, a lot more faster. You know, like John says, the universe loves speed.
Sure does. Absolutely. And I know you have, you're taking off on a program that allows people to understand and learn Forex trading and currency.
Correct.
A couple of friends who do that, but let's tell us a little bit more about that, because I know people would have heard the word Forex. They will have heard about trading in foreign currency, but that might be all they've heard, really.
Well, absolutely. Well, as you know, people trade. People are constantly trading money. If I go to Australia, right? I'm going to trade my United States dollars, right? What is the Australian money down there? What is it?
I'm not sure what you'd be getting for your USD at the minute, but I can find out very quickly.
So anyway, so basically we're
142. You're getting 142 Australian dollars for $1 US at the moment.
Okay, so yeah, so that's pretty decent. So every when people are trading that currency, when they pull that money out, it depending on what time of the day it is, depending on that time is, there's a lot of profit to be made. So there's a lot of profit. It's a wonderful thing that we can do this, because back in the day, you're talking about we were talking technology. Thank you. So that technology wasn't here years ago, and so now it's time to take hold of that technology. So there's in this, what we're doing is called Forex Made Easy, and again, this will kick off. That's forexmadeeasy.com with a Z, easy with a Z. That'll kick off, I want to say, in the next 2 weeks. But we're doing and plugging people in where they can get algorithms to make Forex made easy, algorithms to help and things like that, to videos to teach people how to do it and things like that, so that not only they can learn how to do it, but also they can make money by referring people as well. So it's a wonderful thing, and I'm really excited about it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it sounds exciting, because I know there's a lot of money to be made in Forex. I know a lot of people have made a lot of money from it, taking advantages in that difference between different currencies in, timely manners. It's definitely a big string to people's bows that if they don't know much about it, that's the place to go. And that's a great domain. Just say that domain again.
Forex Made Easy with a Z.
Easy with a Z. Can't forget that.
Yeah.
Let's pull back to business then, and you've got a vast wealth of experience in business, and I'd like to dive into some of your challenges there. Like we said before off camera, business is like life itself, a roller coaster, ups and downs all along the way, and we tend to find that when things are tough, that's when you learn more. It's great when the bills are getting paid and everything's running smoothly, but there's more value actually in those times when things are difficult, when there's challenges there and your back's up against the wall a bit. So share some of yours with us, please.
Well, I would definitely say that one thing that I've learned over time is never let anybody's opinion. If everybody has an opinion of who you're going to be, so don't allow anybody's opinion to stop you from being who you're meant to be. And you have an image of yourself. If you have an image of yourself, hold on to that image. And I like to say this, take that image to who you want to be in the future, and simply fold time and space and be that person now. And then you will be that person in the future. And, beyond that, don't take no for an answer. If you have a great idea, if you have the movement to do it, if you can plug in with positive people, surround yourself with positive people that's going to help you to finish what you're trying to do or what you're doing. Don't take things for granted. So that's my thing. Always push forward. Never take anything for granted. Know who you are now, so you could be that person in the future. Love it.
Great hot tips, man. And very qualified. How can I say it? Yeah, look, I can say, very qualified. It's all right speaking about these things, but I think they have a lot more gravity and meaning to them when you know that you're speaking to someone who's been through them. Because you're speaking from experience, from the heart, and or from the head as well. Because both of them come into play as a business owner. I can tell you sometimes it can be a battle between the two when big decisions have to come up. But I think going with the heart's the one. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything for me, you're powered by your emotions. So if you can take your heart in it, put your heart in it, it's going to open up a beautiful path for you. If you push forward and you go with your heart, you go with your gut, and you don't stop, it will work.
Yeah, definitely. Never take no for an answer. If I and I bet you'd agree with me on this, if I'd have took every no that I got as the answer and then just gone with it, I wouldn't be anywhere.
No, that's right.
Yeah, I'd definitely still be working for someone else.
For real. Absolutely.
Tell me about some big wins that you've had in business. You know, one moment where you thought, yes, this is a proud moment for me. This is a milestone. This when it really affirmed to you that you're doing the right thing in the right place.
I would definitely say just recently I've acquired multiple different partners that are like-minded. And it's basically like searching for a jewel. You know, you're trying to find somebody that's like-minded, that's gonna take your creative ability and you're gonna take their creative ability and it becomes one vision. You know, that in itself has been great. We just recently I got a new office separate from my other businesses, and those partners took, you know, I partnered with them, and those partners stopped doing some of the things that they were doing. They took what we were saying that we wanted to do serious. They all came in, they all got an office, you know, office in this office, and we're constantly working together like one mind, one source. And I can literally feel the gravitation on what we're doing. And so I would say that right now is the biggest win, like feeling that pull, knowing that that goal is going to be met on August the 14th, 2022. That's for me is the biggest win right now for me.
Yeah, it's a huge win, and the power of the mastermind, right? When you get a bunch of people working together, all towards the same goal, towards the same end, and they all understand what that goal and that end is. You know, it's something we've been. It's something I knew for a while, for sure. I'd been reading about this kind of thing for a while. The mastermind. I think I had formed. Well, I had. No, I don't think. No, I don't think I had formed small ones, but I'd never really applied it as such to business. And what you said there really resonates with me in that degree. And I've learned a lot more when we've been doing the thinking into results training more about the power of the mastermind. And you know, you might be able to resonate with me on this. You know, when you start out in business and there's not lots of money around and you've got to do it all. You know, you're doing the accounting, you're doing everything. You're doing the marketing, the advertising, you're managing things. And at that point, you know, that's the position when you're in. But then when things grow a bit and money gets a bit more, cash flow gets a bit more, and you can give roles out and you can delegate, then you get to understand the power of the mastermind and how these things can come together, and then things really start rocketing, don't they?
They do that. I mean, that's exactly, you described exactly what's been happening perfectly with me. I mean, that's exactly what it is. Everybody that's surrounding me is people that I'm able to delegate to, you know, and delegate, and then working together and pushing. Even before we got on here, you know, I was going over different motivational speeches and stuff like that. And one of my partners, like, he does videography. So, you know, he was like, okay, look, you got to start from this side. You can't do it from that way. You know, so it's a wonderful thing to have that team, the mastermind, to push towards the goals, you know.
It is. And I believe that if everyone sticks to their craft and hones their craft and just sticks to that and plays that role in the team, you know, you're going to have a great team. You're going to get things done real quickly, you know. And I think that's the journey that we've described there, and that you agree with me has been your journey too. I think that's the journey for a lot of entrepreneurs, you know. Of course, you always hear about the people who get big funding right at the start with their idea, with their project, but I don't think that's really very common. It's something that's pretty rare. For me, I kind of always wanted, I mean, check this out as a concept. This sounds crazy and a lot of people don't agree with me on this, but I say, like, if I won the lotto tomorrow and I won multiple millions, there's a part of me that would actually be gutted and upset because I didn't get to build it. It just came really fast. And I think that's the reason why, like, I like to build it slow and go through the grind and go through, you know, the real hustle, because I know it builds up the character.
It does. Yeah. When you earn something, it means more. You know, it's just like if somebody earned that type of money, instead of investing it wisely, they'll probably tend to spend more than invest more because of it was handed to them. Anything that we have that we work hard for and we earn it, we invest it like it's our last. You know, we don't just put it out there. We invest it in a smart investment.
Yeah, that's right. A good calculated one. That brings me to my next question, which is, and you might say you wouldn't do anything differently, but if you had to start again in business tomorrow, is there anything that you would majorly you look back now?
Would I do something differently? That's a good question. I would honestly say it's what I would say. By who I am now is because of what happened. All the things that happened, the traumatic brain injury, if I did something different, I may not be who I am now. So it's like, yeah, so it's like you gotta take the pain with the struggle. You take the pain with the struggle, and that gives you a good heart condition. It makes you strong. No, everything happens by friction. A plane takes off by friction. So if you want to take off, you got to accept the friction in your life, and you got to move on and take off, because at the end of the day, you're still looking down while you're moving up. So, you just got to take it, man. And that's how I look at it. A lot of people be like, man, I would change this and that and the other, but I wouldn't change anything, because I know where I'm going now. And I have a stronger sense of who I am through the circumstances in which I went through. So I'm going to embrace it and say I wouldn't change a thing.
Love it. Who you are, what you've been through, builds you up to be the person you are today. And like you say, if those circumstances, not circumstances, I shouldn't use the word circumstances because they're irrelevant, right? But the things you've been through, they've molded you to the person you are. You wouldn't be the person you are if you hadn't been through them. I like that one. Everything is friction. Everything is friction, isn't it? When the plane takes off, it has to get through some tough times before it reaches that cruising part, the nice altitude.
Then you're cruising.
Yeah. Now, I know your goals and aspirations, of course, it's to be a billionaire by August 14th, 2022. I believe it's going to happen. I can see the vision for you just as much as you can see it yourself. I mean, look, you're already dressing like it, quite frankly, so it's really not that far away, is it?
Correct.
Yeah, visualize, manifest, and it will. Everything happens twice. Yeah, once people think it's hocus pocus when you talk like this, but once you start putting it into practice, actually, you realize that it is real, and everything happens twice. Once up here, and then second time in the physical reality out in the world. So, but what are your, aside from that, the big goal, the C-type goal, what are your goals and aspirations for the future of your businesses?
Well, my biggest thing is I want them to be able to get to the point where these businesses, they run themselves, and it'll be something that I can pass on to my family as generational wealth. That's the key. Real freedom is generational wealth. It's when you don't have to worry about your grandkids. Your grandkids can have a part, and you can take the time and teach everybody, your family, on how things were, and why they are the way they are now, because you took things to the next level. And so that's one of the things. Also, I'll tell you what, this is on my vision board. My vision board is I want to buy this jet. It's a Boeing 747 VIP jet. Oh man, I'm looking at that jet. So that's definitely in the future too. I saw this jet, Jake. It's got a dining room inside the jet.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, a dining room? Oh yeah, I gotta
look that up. I'm gonna have to look that up. What was it called?
It's a 747 Boeing VIP.
VIP.
Yeah.
Might be going on my vision board too, and I'll meet you on a tropical island somewhere at some point.
That's great.
Fantastic. Give me three. If you were talking out there to someone who's thinking about starting in business, they've got their idea together, they've got a concept, they're just getting started as a hustler, as an entrepreneur, someone out there in the business world, three hot tips that you would give to them that are listening right now.
Let me see. I would say write down what you want and don't take it for granted. Every day in the morning, wake up and do it. You know, so many people, they say they want to do something, and that morning that clock hits, they drag out the bed and they give themselves every reason not to do what's necessary. So if you want to, whatever the business is, it doesn't matter if you get up in the morning and you start writing down the different things that it's going to take every day. Take one step. It doesn't have to be 32 steps, just one step towards that business, that goal. And you'll get closer and closer until the next thing you know, you'll have the business and the business will be making profit. And then when things don't go exactly the way you may want them to go, because often that's what happens when you're in the beginning of a business, chalk it up and keep moving. Do what you got to do. Keep moving. You know, do what's necessary to keep it going and keep moving, but don't give up. And I don't know if that's 2 or 3. I'm rattling my brain, but that's really just what it is, Jay. Just keep moving. Don't give up.
Yeah, no, it's good. No specificness on the numbers. There's no rules here in this podcast, man. We just like to let it flow, and that's certainly what it's been doing here. I know that you've provided a lot of gems to people who are looking at, you know, starting their own businesses, or, you know, just want to make the switch from employee to employer, from, you know, having to trade their time for someone else's money to just having their own time and their own schedule and deciding how they want to make their own money. And more than that, which is something we haven't touched on, and it's something I'm a big messenger about. And it comes to me that you would be the same. It's, you know, finding your passion, finding out what that is, taking some time to find out what that is, and you know, turning that into your paycheck. And like we said, you know, technology right now makes it all the more possible, more than ever before, doesn't it?
It does, definitely. And I'm happy for it. I mean, you got to be thankful for what we do have. I mean, we're living in a great time, like 2020. You know, everybody might want to focus on negative things, but the reality is there's so many things that's great about 2020. You know, all you got to do is reach your hand out and take a piece of the pie. You know, that's what it's about. Taking a piece of the pie, grab the good things, the technology that's out there, the all these online businesses. There's so many different things that's out there. So really and truly, there's no reason why somebody could not start their business. There's so many different people who are willing to help. And honestly, I'm that guy. I'm willing to help. If somebody needed help with doing their business, like I would definitely be that guy someone could contact me, and we would love to sit down or give a phone call or video chat or whatever the case is, and help people, because this is what it's all about. Getting to the next level, you need that support. And I know that there was times where I didn't have support, you know, so, you know, when you can offer that to other people, they can elevate just like that. And all they need is that small amount of support. So, you know.
Yeah, particularly from someone who's already been there, done it, been through it. You know, it's asking for help. It's something that sometimes you can let pride get in the way of, but the amount of growth in it, particularly when it comes to business and mentorship, and finding someone who's already done it before you, that to springboard. You know, sometimes you can cut out years of trials and tribulations if you just find someone who's already done it and say, go, man, could you help me out? Could you just have a conversation with me, maybe a half an hour of your time? It doesn't take long to learn where you're going wrong and get things on track.
Absolutely. Big time.
Demetrius, I've really enjoyed spending some time with you today. You've been an absolute boss, and you've showed us some gems and an insight into your world and the things you've accomplished, which I truly mean this. It's really inspiring to see someone who's got so many things going on, but manages to keep level-headed in that while they keep got all the plates spinning. And I know a big part of that is probably the team you've got around you, but you know, someone's got to run that team, and you're doing it.
Hey, I appreciate it, Jake. I mean, it's been a privilege, man, to to talk about it and just really see, you know, sometimes you're doing something and you're in it. You're not really thinking about you're in it. You're just doing it, you know? So I appreciate you taking the time and inviting me on, man, for real, because seeing what you're doing is big. It's like, it's huge and it's inspiring. So,
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. It's good to know that, like I always say, if just a couple of people, one person comes to me and says, I get some energy, some motivation, some inspiration off this podcast, then that's why it's here. So it's good to know that it's serving its purpose well. Demetrius, if people want to find out more about you, where's the best place to find you?
Well, I would definitely say the best place to find me is AOS Enterprise.com. That's a good place to find me. Also, my I want to say it's bad. I probably should have looked ahead of time and thought about my Instagram. I don't even know. Isn't that bad? I don't know what my Instagram is. But Demetrius Moyé on Facebook. You can find me there as well.
Got it. Thanks for spending some time with me today, brother. Really enjoyed it. I'll be catching you up with you soon in some of the groups we're a part of. I'll look forward to it.
Thank you, man. I'm going and hunger for that hustle.
Thanks, bro. Take care.
You too. Take care.